This broken piece of metal literally screwed up my life. Well, it didn't, because it's also the reason I found joy and happiness. My journey with pain began 32 years ago when 3 spine operations in a 7-month period left this broken pedicle screw in my lumbar vertebra. Now, they let me keep it, and of course, I made a necklace out of it to remind me that while it broke, I didn't. So pain is normal and necessary to protect our bodies from harm. What isn't normal is when it lasts more than 3 months, or in my case, 32 years. Then it's called chronic pain. Now for me, chronic pain started in my lumbar vertebra and then it went into my nervous system. It feels a lot like this. And I'm here today to show you how I turned feeling like this into feeling like this. All these years, I have tried every imaginable treatment before I realized that what takes my pain away was never once suggested by my doctors. I stumbled upon a way to self-medicate when I discovered that a relentless pursuit of doing good by helping other people is my most potent drug. By waking up every day and choosing how to live every day, I control daily doses of endorphins that overpower my thoughts of pain and replace them with thoughts of joy and happiness. Now, I call this medicine the distraction of doing good. It's not a new idea, and in fact, there's a lot of evidence that backs it up. But it's an important idea that keeps falling through the cracks. So I want to dust off and resurrect the work of 2 experts and start a conversation about treating chronic pain with all triggers of endorphins. Back in the early 90s, Alan Lukes coined the term helper's high when he discovered that 50% of volunteers report feeling high from volunteering. Stephen Post followed up, and he found that mood elevation from giving not only releases endorphins, but serotonin and oxytocin too. Post believes that giving is the most potent force in the planet and can protect a body for a lifetime, and I think I might be living proof that he's right. So why should you care? Well, there are 50 million people living in chronic pain. That is 1 in 5 of us. Chances are you or your loved one are going to experience it at some point in your lifetime. The U.S. Pain Foundation has found that pain is the #1 reason we access our medical care system, and yet, for every 10,000 pain patients, there's only 1 board-certified pain expert, and that is leaving a gaping hole in being efficient and effectively treated and diagnosed. On top of that, we're still reeling from the opioid epidemic, and we are still scrambling for ways to treat chronic pain. What I'm suggesting is, instead of popping pills or, like me, reaching for a big bowl of ice cream and binge watching TV, try triggering the release of natural endorphins that mimic the effect of opioid drugs. Our bodies already do this when we first feel pain. The brain sends out feel-good chemicals that take that pain on a detour. But for those of us in chronic pain, this initial boost of endorphins is simply never enough. We find ourselves gravitating to other triggers of endorphins: runner's high, meditation, yoga, dark chocolate, sex, laughter. But the trigger I'm talking about, the one that is never suggested by my doctors, is the simple act of doing something good for someone else, altruism or philanthropy. Here's how it's worked in my life. After my surgeries, I went through a really long, dark period. I remember reaching out to my pastor, who asked me, what is more valuable, making money or picking a wildflower and giving it to a sick neighbor? At the time, I didn't realize the value of his words, but they stuck with me, and I found my way back by volunteering for nonprofits, because when I could help them help more people, my happy moments started coming back into my life. Then, 18 years ago, my neighbor invited me to a very unusual birthday gathering where 25 women pooled what we would have spent dining out, and instead, we gave it to women and girls living in the most marginalized countries in the world, where poverty is defined as living on $1.90 a day or less. Now that night, I was pulled in by 3 magnetic forces that started my addiction to endorphins. The first was finding a way to get money into the hands of women and girls I had met on a trip to Tanzania. The second was seeing how collective giving and collective action gives power to one person to know they can change the world. And the third is seeing how smart it is to invest in the future of women and girls if we want to build a sustainable world of peace. So this idea spread like wildfire, and soon we were the largest giving circle in the world with 500 chapters across the country. Together, we have amassed small gifts into $8 million, changing the lives of 1.5 million women and girls. And I gotta believe that's a lifetime supply of endorphins. Beyond all reason, I couldn't stop working. Even when my husband, my daughters, my best friends saw it was taking a toll on my health, and even when I knew it was taking a toll. It went beyond feeling responsible as a co-founder. And the moment I realized why I was doing it was just 5 years ago, when a strategic planning consultant asked me, "Barb, why do you do what you do?" I said, "Well, I can help people." He asked me again, "Why do you do what you do?" I said, "Because it makes me happy." When he asked me a third time, I admit I got irritated, and I blindly called out, "Because when I work for Dining for Women, I don't feel my pain." The distraction of doing good by helping other people was how I was self-medicating. Recently, a pain psychologist told me I'm an outlier. I don't fit the profile of his patients. Because when my pain goes up, instead of slowing down and plopping on the couch, I get busier and busier and busier beyond reason. I realized I know something he didn't know, and that is that my best medicine comes from within me. And I find myself totally addicted to a medicine I can create. It requires no prescription, it has no harmful side effects, and best of all, I can self-medicate all day long, every single day. Full disclosure though, I am not an expert in the science or psychology of how or why this works, but I know it does for me, and I know I control the quality of my life despite living in unrelenting pain. Now, we have an opportunity to start a conversation in the medical community about all triggers of endorphins for treating chronic pain. That's 50 million potential doses of non-addictive medicine whose only side effects are relief and unleashing goodwill around the world. So if you're in chronic pain, I wish someone would have warned me how hard it is to navigate getting diagnosed and treated. And I really, really wish someone would have told me that to find answers, I would have to turn into my own fierce advocate because no one could do it for me. So please speak up with your doctors, think creatively, mix a few triggers into your treatment plan, and maybe one will work, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find a cause that's bigger than your pain, and my hope is that it won't take you 32 years like it did for me to figure it out. As for me, I'll keep waking up and reaching for the medicine that makes my pain go away, helping women and girls and helping people in pain find their happy moments. And all I have to do is keep opening my bottle of endorphins.